can go through this guide to help them optimize content. And so that's how the content optimizer works. So we talked about the bounce. So now we've done our keyword research, and we've optimized our pages, so we're rating pretty well in the search engines. But what about the human side of this experience? We talked about the bounce. There's really two types of bounces that happen. So someone types in say they type in a keyword phrase, possibly they see a tweet. They might see something on a Facebook page, something like that, and they come to your website expecting a piece of information to be there. What are the two different ways people might bounce off the website? And I'm going to use the definition of a bounce is when someone comes to as a one and done. Someone comes to the website, looks at the page, and leaves.
Back button.
I meant more intense. Yes, back button technically is correct. I got a technical group. We already mentioned. I'll give you the one. We already mentioned one that someone went to the site and they saw that the information they wanted wasn't there, so they just left.
They could try clicking through the tab to see if the hitters are trying to lead to what they were searching for.
True. We're going to get to that. But as far as a bounce, they came to the website and they left. Is there a good type of bounce?
If you happen to be, let's say it's a buy now type of thing on the front page that goes in immediately like, hey, now, that gets kind of bounce.
Yes, yes. Another type of bounce is that maybe exactly what they wanted was on that page, or even better yet, maybe there's a buy now. But it could be that's just a piece of information. They read the blog post, they read the wiki page, they got the information they needed, and now they go away. It could be that we did such a good job, they don't need to go anywhere else on our website. This is actually a huge nightmare for usability studies. You know, when people say, oh, we want to up the number of page hits on our website. Well, in some ways, usability is about actually decreasing the number of pages there, because you don't want them to click through a whole bunch of things to have to work to find things. So we have two types of bounces. One that's kind of bad. They were disappointed, they left. Another one, they found what they wanted. If you were in the presentation yesterday, we talked about the impression quadrant. Every time someone comes to your website or a piece of social media you might have, you're leaving an impression. The first type of bounce we talked about is this bottom quadrant. It's most likely a short term, unless you did something to really upset them, that might have moved them into the long-term negative impression. But most likely it's going to be a short-term negative impression. How many times you not get what you want, you go to a page and you actually remember more than 18 seconds later what the page was you were just on? The good type of bounce probably puts us up into the top left quadrant. That we probably made a good impression, but it probably wasn't memorable. If you were in my presentation yesterday, or maybe you just will guess this from just general knowledge, what is the best way to move people? How do we move people from the short-term impression to a long-term impression? Engagement, exactly. So it's a passive experience versus an active experience. Oops. So now I'm going to ask, what are ways we can engage people? Pardon? Yeah, I accidentally. That was just one set. There's other. What are ways that you can engage people once they're on your website?
Ask for their ideas.
Ask for their ideas. Excellent. What are some ways to ask for their ideas? Ask for their opinions. Polls. Fantastic. Actually, I didn't put polls in the slide. That's a great one.
Comments.
Pardon?
Comments.
Comments. Exactly. Excellent way.
Forums.
Pardon?
Forums.
Forums.
Quiz.
Quiz.
Survey.
Survey.
Live chat.
Pardon?
Live chat.
Live chat. Certainly. All great ways of engaging people. Ratings. One of my favorite modules, and it's not used a whole lot, is community tagging, which that's how you build a folksonomy. So if you use a regular tagging taxonomy in Drupal, you get a taxonomy because the author, who's a subject matter expert, is classifying their content. There is another module called community tagging, which allows site visitors to tag content. And much really the same way, like say Delicious works, we can tag content. So those are some great ways to go. There's actually many other good ideas around the room, surveys and polls and whatnot. Linking and forwarding. So, social bookmarking. People, again, might want to bookmark on Delicious. They might want to add something to their Facebook page. They might want to tweet it. Drupal gives us all kinds of great mechanisms for making these things happen, helping us go viral. One is, obviously there's the add this, share this, services links. There's probably more modules than that. Those are the 3 that we've used on various projects. Email to friend. There actually is a module specifically for it. You can do it with webmail. It's also integrated into add this and share this. Trackbacks. In fact, this is a little bit of, the one thing I love about WordPress is that it has trackbacks and pingbacks sort of built in. Has a good unified way of dealing with it. A great way to pass on, to allow people to pass on your links or to integrate their links into their websites is a trackback. If you're not familiar, basically trackback is just a permanent URL, and someone says basically it's letting someone know that they're writing about this piece of content in some way. A pingback's another way of doing it. It's an active mechanism. Good things to look at. Subscribing. We could let people, obviously, what I love about views is you can RSS feed basically anything on your website. In particular, I like to integrate RSS feeds with FeedBurner. Because one of the problems with RSS feeds is you don't know how many people are actually using it, how many people are subscribing to it. What if instead of an RSS feed reader, they want an email? FeedBurner is a free service from Google, and there's a module to help you do it in Drupal that will let you know how many people are subscribing to your service. We'll also allow people to say, I don't want these posts via RSS, I want them via email. Newsletter sign up is another great way to go. And WebForm can give you a simple way of doing that, or you can integrate into many of the services out there like iContact, Constant Contact. And there's all kinds of other ways of doing conversion. So registering for an event, poll is another great one, surveys are another great one. You can always set up like a piece of content, like a white paper, and people can register, give some piece of information in order to gain access to that content. All these different recipes can be easily done in Drupal. There is a less intrusive way though, because a lot of people, they might not be ready to take that step. So if someone's coming to your website and they don't know your brand, they're reading their first piece of content, they might not really want to be giving you their information. They might not quite say, hey, I trust this site enough that I want to go tell it to all my friends on Facebook. A simple next step, one of my favorite, is the related content. And there's 2 types of related content. One is the wiki-style inline linking. And a lot of times it's used for definitions, but it could be used for other mechanisms. Or it is the sidebar, here are more links to content like this. Anybody here, I am a Wikipedia sort of addict. I sometimes get on there to look up one word, and then I find myself like researching the whole history of Rome or something. It's addicting. And it's really fun to watch the power